things like this. Anthony Fantano reviewed We Are Charlie Kirk.
We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. We'll fight for the gospel. We'll honor his name.
My mom posting this on TikTok. Oh, hell yes. Bro, I cannot believe how quickly the cultural attitude surrounding Charlie Kirk snapped in the opposite direction. And I think it was partially because these guys tried to do the fake veneration and, like, you know, tried to fire people. They tried to go after people aggressively for daring to say anything about Charlie Kirk, including people that were just simply posting what Charlie Kirk had said, right? But then saying this is something that I don't agree with. And it snapped back so hard. Everyone's getting Kirkified. Last night, we were talking about this, and it's like, my fear now is like, I don't fear death, right? I've talked about this before. But my new fear now is that if I die, I'm going to get fucking Kirkified, and everyone's going to constantly put my face on shit. And because nobody has any chill anymore. So I need to avoid that. I need to avoid death now. All my haters are going to fucking rejoice. Gen Z has no chill and no respect whatsoever. And I think part of the reason why is because the administration of the government basically tried to do everything in their power to be like, you can't do anything about Charlie Kirk. And Americans don't play like that. You tell an American, and I even have that dog in me as well, a little bit, right? I have the Western brain that I was talking about before. You tell an American they can't say something, they just go, I'm going to say it extra fucking hard. I have nothing else. This is the only liberty that I have. I'm going to use it, God damn it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They tried to hit that like, oh, how dare you even bring up what Charlie Kirk had said in the past? You're not being sufficiently pro Charlie Kirk. He just died. And people went, okay, bet. And first, it started off with people putting him on, Kirkifying like rap videos and stuff like that, right? And now he is immortalized in the worst way possible. And I guess it's partially because of the famous, gun violence is a necessary part of having freedom to own guns. You know, school shootings are going to happen. Who cares? And then he died in a school shooting, right? So Gen Z was like, okay, well, if you don't give a shit about, my peers dying in school shootings, I don't give a shit about you dying in a fucking school shooting, right? Like, so that was part of it. And I think the other part of it is because, like, you tell people, especially young people, they can't do something, they're going to do it extra hard. And now everything is getting Kirkified. And I was thinking last night, we were talking about this last night. We were like, what's the craziest? The new meta, I think, would be Kirkifying an entire motion picture movie. I think that's going to be the next wave, where they just literally Kirkify an entire 2-hour movie. You know what I mean? And we were trying to figure out what would be the most insane movie to Kirkify. Will said Moana. I said Schindler's List. Lord of the Rings extended trilogy, director's cut, Shrek. Passion of the Christ was another one that I thought would be an insane thing to Kirkify. Sallow? Oh, that might be the one. Kirkify the Birth of a Nation? Brother, that's not. I feel like Kirkifying Birth of a Nation is a little reductive, no? That's a podcast convo, guys. No, we were doing this off camera. That's why I'm the B movie. Yeah. We Kirkified Birth of a Nation, and nothing changed. Kirkifying Birth of a Nation, and the movie is exactly the same. What do you mean Kirkify? Kirkifying is when, and this is a new meta with Gen Z, is when Gen Z will take Charlie Kirk's face and put it on a photo or a movie or an image, like a snippet from a movie. And it's something that people are doing all over the internet now. It was popping off on, and it's been like international. People are fucking doing it in like Iranian Twitter and shit.
We'll fight
No, they're just doing to Kirk what conservatives did to George Floyd. Yeah, low key, that is what's going on. I mean, not even low key, but high key. Dude, what is this fucking song? I didn't even know. Yeah, see? This is a Kirkification example. Papa Perk for Charlie Kirk is going to be floating around the noggin for at least a week. Wait, what?
We express the horror and grief at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk. I have no doubt that Charlie's voice will be heard. She put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people.
FD has a video coming out about this, edited it, and he literally makes a George Floyd comparison. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's right. All the fucking Nazis used to put George Floyd's face in everything. And I guess now it's like almost a revenge against that sort of thing. Oh my God. No more live streams in America, bro, please. Wait, what? Definitely encouraging a Nazi to murk you right now? Wait, what? Brother, you think the Nazis like Charlie Kirk? What are you talking about? They are also Kirkifying Charlie Kirk. They hated Charlie Kirk. The fucking Groypers hated Charlie Kirk. The Groypers hated Charlie Kirk almost as much as I did. This song is fucking crazy. What? Why? Israel. Israel's the reason. Charlie Kirk's #1 op was Nick Fuentes. How many? Dude, we spent the fucking next week after Charlie Kirk's assassination talking about this shit. What are we talking about? Charlie Kirkified edit? That comedian did that rap a day after he died? That's crazy. Bro, people already forgot about him now. Brother, they did not forget about him. They got zero chill about remembering or respecting his memory. That's my point. His legacy is absolutely fucking this, you know? It's just, this is what he will be remembered as. This is from 3 days ago. Nick, imagine how Charlie Kirk would feel about Trump dining with Epstein. Charlie Kirk knew about it and he didn't give a shit. He was completely corrupt just like Trump was.
With Epstein. So sad and embarrassing for all of Trump's supporters.
Of course, he knew. He didn't give a shit. What do you mean, imagine if he knew? You know, I'm really sick of this idea that Charlie was some kind of idealist.
Oh! This fucking dipshit. This booger eating gay Mexican Nazi, days after Charlie Kirk's assassination, was complaining about my coverage and the way I was talking about Charlie Kirk. And now, a month later, now that all of his fucking fans are Kirkifying at an alarming rate, he turns around and he's like, oh, damn, Charlie Kirk was not an idealist. Oh, now he remembered. What happened? What the fuck happened? I thought I was being disrespectful to Charlie Kirk's memory. What the fuck happened, bro?
Do you think Turning Point made $140 million a year because Charlie was an idealist? He was everything to everyone. He was something different to every different person he dealt with. And he was completely corrupt, just like Trump was.
Remember, he said, yeah, you need to cry for Charlie, he said. I need to be crying for Charlie Kirk, he said. Look at this fucking switch up. Is that why you've been compared to Nick Fuentes? No, I get compared to Nick Fuentes because dumb fuck losers, dumb fuck Zionists desperately want someone like myself not to get fucking positive media coverage because my position is anti-Israel. Okay? And I've been there. I've been there from the beginning. And they can't stand it. They can't stand that there's a dude out there who gets positive profiles in mainstream outlets who they can't fucking turn around and silence. They hate that shit. They want that shit not to be the case. They want me to also... I mean, Nick Fuentes is even getting fucking major profiles at this point. But they're obviously not as positive. But they hate that there is like a person like myself who is talking to Democratic Party politicians, openly operating within the confines of one of the two mainstream parties, who holds the majority position on Israel. Let's be real, right? A position that that Zionists never thought would become the majority position. And they just cannot fucking deal with it at all. So they just fling shit at the wall and hope that it sticks. Is Nick really gay? I've seen him simp for Candace Owens in clips. Yeah, I mean, he does not have a consistent fucking bone in his body, okay? The new hater meta is claiming every profile is a PR psyop. Yeah. Fuentes is trying to latch onto your nuts now, basically saying we're all a part of the same team. Yeah, I saw this shit. I saw a clip of this.
And progressives, Zoran, Hassan, Anna Kasparian, we're all saying something like America first, stop the genocide. But the Jewish community, right and left,
I don't want to fucking see this shit, okay? Yeah, okay, listen. Listen, there is no we here, okay? We are not on the same fucking team. My primary focus has never been identifying marginalized communities or groups of people that are not a part of the in-group to claim that they need to be forcibly excised from the American public. I don't give a shit about people's national identities, ethnicity, religious opinions, their backgrounds. These are all spiritual concepts that I don't think serve any purpose beyond, consolidation, beyond a sense of community, maybe a North Star for some people if we're talking about religion, a way to create social cohesion. And there is utility in this. Ultimately, though, I care first and foremost about people, okay? Improving people's lives, regardless of where they're born, regardless of what their fucking background is, and even regardless of what their worldview is, right? That's why I always say I care about universality. When I'm talking about domestic issues in the United States of America, I say I care about universal principles, universal policies, universality in the sense that, like, I want Medicare for all, which includes Medicare for Nazis as well. That's it. Because I care about people first and foremost, improving and uplifting material conditions for every single person. We have the capacity to do so. All of this other shit, sexual identity, gender, ethnicity, nationality, religion, even political opinions, all of that other stuff is irrelevant to me, okay? It's completely irrelevant to me. Ew, I hate you when you say that. It doesn't matter. It's just how it is, okay? That's what I believe. I think a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that that is my worldview. That's what I believe in. If you spend any moment, any time whatsoever, you just got cooked there, brother. Okay, whatever. If you spend any fucking moment talking about how, like, it's actually the migrants that are disrupting American society. It's actually the Jews, the organized Jewry that's actually controlling every lever of power in American society. This is childish. Okay, this is stupid. There is no idealistic organized unit. It's all class. Okay, it's capitalism. Just as there are Jewish capitalists, Jewish capital owners, there are plenty of Christian capital owners who operate on the same fucking boundaries. They operate and abide by their own class position and their own class interests. That's it. Trying to foment enmity towards Jews or towards migrants or towards any group of individual beyond is silly. It's unproductive. It's a distraction. And at worst, if it turns into policy, it is morally repugnant and it's violent. Okay? This is why I get very frustrated with people. Like, even with Nick Fuentes' clip, that one clip where he's like, the populist left and the populist right need to get together and the populist left need to drop the immigration stuff and the populist right need to drop the capitalism stuff. It's like, brother, what the fuck are you talking about? One is an economic organization of society that is the hegemonic, domineering force that has been the singular force, the singular economic system post the dissolution of the fucking USSR. And the other is like an idea that was born out of your own selfish and racially motivated desires to maintain some semblance of racial purity that you don't even fucking abide by because you're Mexican, It's so fucking stupid. These two things are not comparable. It is actually just capitalism that has caused people to identify themselves as all of these different things, like all of these different ways of seeing themselves. That is somehow all of these different people from different tribes are actually ruining American society. It's not the case. The most cynical version of this ideology, of course, is the same reason why, at a time when socialism was at its peak popularity, the Nazis saying that they were also socialists, but they were socialists for the in-group, the folk. You are being class reductive? No, I'm not. Because this does not mean that there isn't any emphasis on marginalized identities that are being dominated, okay? Because, as I always like to say, white supremacy white supremacy designs its targets on the virtues or on the signifiers of race, but the violence that race is subjected to is still the exact same violence that you see as class violence. Okay? Redlining is a great example of this. In my opinion, redlining is a perfect example of this. Right? Redlining is class violence, but it is specifically targeted towards black people. And therefore, you cannot cast aside white supremacy and simply say, oh, we're all working class. When you are organizing, you can do that, okay? But depending on who you're organizing with. In a national campaign, you have to obviously target the broadest base of support and focus on affordability and stuff like that. But when you're actually communicating these issues to the communities that are seeing an additional amount of violence, you have to talk to them on this basis as well. No one is casting aside racism as a major factor here. Do you understand? But even racialized violence even racist violence, white supremacist violence is still being dished out at the systematic level in the exact same ways that class violence operates. It is a factor that actually ends up, like, racialized violence or racism and white supremacy is what's the term for it? It's not self-reinforcing and not a compounding factor. Thank you. It's a compounding factor. And I think it is important for us never to cast aside bigotry, but also I think simply just saying like, oh, this is class reductionism or whatever is stupid.